In 2006, Nintendo released the Nintendo Wii, a console relying on motion controls to operate their games. This console had some of the best games ever made. It also had Game Party. Jesus! Game Party was published by Midway, the same guys who made Mortal Kombat, and developed by Farsight Studios, who created iconic titles like Color of the Dinosaur for the NES. In 2007, they were tasked with making Game Party, and you're not going to believe this, but it was a disaster. The controls were awful, the characters all look like they're on drugs, and the gameplay in general just sucks. But that's what all the critics say. See, in my opinion, Game Party is just an okay game, but I don't know why they had to make it so difficult. They had to have known that this would be just a pick up and play game, so I don't see the need for such great difficulty. If you're a longtime viewer of mine, you'd know that I've played a lot of the first Game Party. I've played this game so much, in fact, I have 33 out of 36 speedrun world records in the game, and even I struggle with this game sometimes. Let's go through each game from worst to best and see why that may be. Table hockey is one of the worst controlling games I've ever played. First to 7 points wins, and you use the pointer just like in the laser hockey minigame from Wii Play. But just like in Wii Play, the hockey game sucks. This game is so sensitive. You have to be really close to your TV for this game to function, and even then the gameplay still looks like this. I'm having fun. To rub salt in the wound of this shitty game, the game gets even harder as you get more tickets, making it almost impossible to win. If you do well in a game, only playing by yourself, you can earn tickets. With these tickets, you can unlock new colors for equipment, new boards, and in darts and shuffleboard, new game modes. This was a very clever tactic to make sure that you don't just play the game once and never play it again. However, that's still what many people did. Obviously, seeing how much this game sucks balls, the 100% table hockey speedrun is one of the 3 records I still don't have. Pink Cup is another game that just has an enormous amount of difficulty for no reason. If you don't aim perfectly and you don't use the exact right power, your shot misses. You have 10 cups and the game ends when you get the ball into all 10 cups. I've seen gameplay videos where they either don't finish or it takes 20 whole minutes. For reference, a perfect game takes about 1 minute. This game just sucks to handle, and even when I feel like I'm doing the right thing, the ball somehow manages to miss the cup. There's not much to trivia. You just spin the wheel and answer questions. The faster you answer the question, the more points you get. Theoretically, if you answer every question right within a second, you can 100% trivia in one cycle, which would save 2 minutes in the 100% category. But that would be an absolutely stupid thing to do, which is why I'm going to go for it at some point. Anyways, trivia is as basic as it gets, but it doesn't suck, so it gets the 5 spot. Darts is an inconsistent mess, but it still manages to be fun. You can aim and use the same power 100 times in a row, and I guarantee you, you would get a different result each time. Darts has 6 different game modes. Most revolve around score. However, in cricket, you need to get 3 of 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, and the bull rings. If you get the double or triple for a number, it counts as 2 or 3 of each number. And then there's an unlockable baseball mode as well. Baseball would probably be good with friends, but I don't see any. You ever been to a bar and it has one of those basketball machines and the high score always has something stupid? This is that game. This game is very fun. Hoop Shoot does look very funny when playing it for a high score, looking like a certain activity that I do when I see Game Party. Skill Ball is only this high because it's probably the easiest game for me. Just angle and aim left, then throw with the correct power. 100 points every single time. I love how fluid your character feels when throwing the ball, and the physics are sometimes spot on. This isn't even close. Shuffleboard is the best minigame in this game. You get a new experience every single time you play it. There's no time limit or fun limit. It'll get there eventually. Trying to go for a 5 or knocking your opponent's puck off the table, this is an amazing game to play, even by yourself. Shuffleboard is also the reason for 2 of the 3 records I don't have, thanks to Mr. BFF getting insanely lucky in the All Games World Record, beating Shuffleboard in a minute and a half, rather than the usual 2.5 minutes, thanks to the CPU getting 16 points in 1 cycle and completing the game in 1 turn. I will never sleep again because of Mr. BFF's 1 cycle. Now that we've talked about the core gameplay, it's time to talk about the other parts that I think are important. This game has some really cool character designs. Look at all these characters. But you have to unlock all the really good ones. So if you're bad at this game, I guess you'll be stuck as playing Joel or the Jazzman. I don't actually know his name. In the options menu, you can see a preview for Cruisin', a racing game published by Midway that released on the exact same day as Game Party. This also has a menu where you can see how many tickets you have. The last thing I want to talk about in the original game is the music. It is so good. Every song in this game except a couple are absolute bangers. Here's my list if anyone cares. I absolutely love the music if you couldn't tell. And this game's music I could listen to for hours. But we don't have time. There's 2 other games to talk about. In 2008, Farsight and Midway broke one of the 10 commandments and made another Game Party game, this time with 5 new game modes. Puck bowling, beanbags, horseshoe, lawn darts, and QB challenge. There's a new tournament mode. Instead of just playing with 4 players, you could have up to 16 people taking turns in a loser go home, winner stays on, or head-to-head tournament. I don't think this mode has ever been used or ever will be. This game also introduced a profile system, allowing families to separate themselves by individuals instead of just sharing a save file. I had a lot of fun making my character once I unlocked everything, so say hello to John Pincup. You may be asking how I unlocked everything. Well, I played all of these shitty games. Darts feels better. It's more sensitive than the original, but the dart doesn't just fall off the board for no reason anymore, which is a massive plus. It's the same game modes as the original, except you don't need to unlock baseball. They changed the skill ball physics. What the fuck? What did they do to my baby? This game used to be fun. I don't know if it's just me, but I literally cannot get enough power to get a 100. This game fucking sucks. I will be starting a new religion about the original skill ball. This version of Hoop Shoot is dumbed down. You don't need a perfect angle to get a good score, you just need the right power. It is much more fun that way in my opinion. However, I don't feel as accomplished when I get a bunch of 3-pointers in a row. They made it bad. You can't even see what the score is at the top of the screen anymore. Plus the game is way too sensitive. The first time I played this, it took at least like 20 tries to keep the puck on the board. Nothing other than that has changed, unless you want to play to 21 points, which I'm sure you would love to do. I don't know how they managed to mess up Pincup again, this time in a different way. If you throw with more force than the force it would take to hit your power button on your Wii, your ball will not go into the cup. It somehow feels worse than the original, which I don't even know how that's possible. Trivia in Game Party 2 is so much harder than in the first game. For what reason? How am I supposed to know who was scratching their ass during the Vietnam War? It's obvious that they just copied Wii Sports here, but they changed a couple answers to make it wrong so the teacher wouldn't get suspicious. This uses the same mechanics as Shuffleboard, which if you don't remember, you can't throw straight in Shuffleboard, so you kinda have to guess where the puck is gonna go. Plus, the way it calculates pins being knocked down by other pins makes no sense to me sometimes. Just a weird game in general. Everyone's played Cornhole before, I hope. It's a great game. In Game Party 2, it's not great. You throw underhand and hope. That's all you can do. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing the same motion and I get different results, which is definitely not what you want in a precision game. There's a pole in the middle of this sand pit. Get your horseshoe near it and you get 1 point. Make it lean on the pole and you get 2. Or ring it around it and you get 3 points. This has the same controls as beanbags, but you can get fucked by the shitty physics of this game even harder. What a great game! Beanbags and horseshoe are pretty much the same game. Let's see if lawn darts is any different. Wow, it's the same game! Lawn darts is very difficult since you don't even know where your dart's gonna go half the time, and you don't even know if you hit the target or not until the round is over. This game fucking sucks. QB Challenge is a 2-minute auto-scroller where you throw a football at some dudes and try to get the highest score. You could play it safe and throw short for 10 yards, or you could go for a risk and throw it deep for 30 yards. Get 50 yards in total, and you score a touchdown and 6 points. You make it through the uprights, you get another point. That's the game. You just repeat that. If you throw to the red guys, you lose a point in all of your masculinity. This is a fun concept, but for some reason I couldn't get any of my throws to the 30-yard line, no matter how hard I tried. I don't know if this is a skill issue or if this game just fucking sucks. The music in Game Party 2 is lacking, and the atmosphere is just kinda like, yeah, you're playing Game Party 2 right now. They killed off all the characters and replaced them with new generic CPUs that don't even have names. They're just opponent. The only thing we can do now is go into the options menu and watch the preview for Touchmaster 2. So, the final judgment. Is Game Party 2 worth buying? The answer is, no, not at all. Exactly 1 year after Game Party 3's release, Farsight and the new publisher Warner Brothers released Game Party 3 to the world. I wonder how people liked it. It's the exact same game! It might be the same game, but it is much better. Obviously, the reason being there's more character customization. Everyone say hi to John! There's also a power meter now, so you know what you're doing wrong and what the ideal power is. This makes the game so much easier, it's insane. There's also 8 new game modes, so let's go over them. Again, Farsight copied Nintendo on this one, this time stealing out of Wii Play's playbook. It's so hard to calculate shots in this. You think you'll have a shot perfectly aimed and then it'll miss. Plus the game just takes so long. Combined with the multitude of darts and shuffleboard modes, the speedrun world record for all lounge games is 2 hours. Unlike billiards, I had a good time playing this. I don't even know how to describe this game. It's sort of like soccer and hockey in the sense that you need to score on the other team, but in a twist, there's bumpers and other balls in the way to stop you from scoring. Just like in shuffleboard, there's a lot of potential for strategy here. I'd like to announce that I've never lost a game of Bumper Pool ever. I played it 1 time. Root Beer Tapper is an arcade game that was originally released in 1983 under Midway, who, if you remember, did not release Game Party 3. In Root Beer Tapper, you slide mugs down a table to customers. This one is tricky. I always end up spamming A and just start jacking off my Wii remote by the end just to hold off the customers. What a filler game. This shit is just plain lazy. I can imagine a 4-year-old playing this, not 18-year-old Uncle Supius. How does anyone find croquet fun? This shit is so stupid. You just gotta hit the ball through the rings in the order that it gives you. Stupid game. It does have good controls though. However, the physics on the rings can go straight to hell. Racquetball is a sport played in an enclosed court, where players try to make the ball hit the wall to make the ball bounce, so your opponent can't return it before it hits the ground twice. For some reason, I had a lot of input drops playing this, and I just couldn't get myself to enjoy it. In Bocce Ball, you throw a white ball, and then aim to get as close to the white ball as you can. Being Italian, I'm biologically required to enjoy Bocce Ball, and fortunately, it does not seem to have any issues in Game Party 3. Good game.
I did it! I had fun!
Mini golf in this game is amazing, in my honest opinion. When I first picked up this game, I played mini golf and instantly got addicted, and beat the speedrun world record in 30 minutes of owning the game. This game has a lot of speedrunning potential. If you have any of these 3 games, I would recommend trying to get a run on the leaderboard. So now that I've played all 3 games, did my life change for the better? Okay. Yeah, I still enjoy the first game over 2 and 3, but I still had a lot of fun with Game Party 3. In Game Party 2, don't fucking buy that game.
I love Madden 16.